to South Africa as the drug epidemic in the country is deepening, with Johannesburg at the center of concern. Rising unemployment among young people has fueled an alarming surge in substance abuse, turning addiction into both a public health emergency and a social threat. Communities say the crisis is tearing families apart and driving crime rates higher. Experts warn that if left unchecked, this wave of drug abuse could destabilize entire neighborhoods. News Central's Bongani Siziba is on the streets of Johannesburg with more on this disturbing trend. Bongani, you're on the streets there. How bad is this?
Yeah, good afternoon, Judith. It's good to see you. It's a bad situation here in the streets of Johannesburg. In downtown, as many of you may recall, just a week or 2 weeks ago, we did a story that highlighted troubling surge in drug abuse among South African youths, a crisis that is slowly consuming their future. I would ask my camera guy just to show you around. And today we shared stories behind this crisis, where I met with drug addicts, those who are hooked in drugs, just to speak to me about what they go through and what is happening. It's quite a heartbreaking story, but let me just bring in two of the guys who have agreed to speak to me about what they are going through. Thank you, my brother, for allowing me to speak to you in your space. You are a drug addict. Can you tell me how you started, where you are now, and what made you to be a drug addict?
Oh, thank you very much. Dabankulu, Potile. I started off with drugs the time that I was no longer employed and I was in need of, come back into employment, and being misled into thinking that continuing to use drugs is going to give me that comfort to go on, and then I found myself in the hole already, in a trap that I didn't foresee. And I also discovered that amongst us, drug addicts, drug users, we are not really, keen into being into these drugs. We need help. We want to come out. We need to come out, but we are not feeling that we are being heard or we are being acknowledged. And I'm pleading with the government to say, please don't forget us, because we are here as a result of the bad side of the system, the poison in the system, and we need to be pulled out, and we need to get back into the proper system, because it doesn't feel right to be educated to pursue goals and dreams, and then in the end you are being deprived of all of that simply because there's no place for you, there's no yeah.
Okay, Judith, let me just bring in the second one quickly. My brother, thank you so much for agreeing to speak to us. Just a quick one. Where do you guys get these drugs, and what made you to get addicted?
Okay, what made me to get drugs? My name is Supermanja Innocent Msebi. Where I get drugs, I get it over the street. Some guys, they come, they sell for us drugs. Some of them, we don't know them because they change themselves. And how I started to smoke drugs. As I started to smoke drugs, as for doing for girls. If you're having sex, you don't drop fastly. And when you're going to steal too, you don't be scared when you use drugs. And as for today, now I saw I need help. I need to get help because I want to quit drugs and I want to go back to work. And I'll be stealing by my house, I'll be stealing for people. And even now as we're talking, I'm starting to change because I don't do actually wrong things again. That is a part of my life. As I saw Ma today is willing maybe to help me, to get somebody to help me, like Innocence. I can do many things, and I like to come out in drugs because this thing is like evil is inside me now, and I can't live with it anytime because I have to rent for sleeping, I have to rent for waking up, and I have to rent if I'm going to work. If I never rent for my body for drugs, I cannot do nothing. I feel tired. The thing is like demonic.
Okay, Judith, you have heard from some of the drug addicts, but I also want my camera guy to show you where these guys stays. So these guys, they can no longer stay with families because drug addicts. When you are an addict, you end up stealing from your family, taking things from your family and stealing. So they don't want them in the family, so they end up staying in shacks like this. But this is what is going on here in Joburg. Many, it's because of the unemployment rate that is in Johannesburg. Many of them, they end up being drug addicts, and these stories are said, as we have heard how they started. It's not a personal choice, but as a community, this is a crisis for the community and the government, just to help them so that they get off the streets, Judith.
From the addicts themselves, Bongani, Siziba, once again, thank you.